Stitchy friends. My name is Lauren and this is my channel Stitching in La La Land, where I talk mostly about cross stitch and a little bit about other crafts like knitting and crochet and diamond painting. Today will be my very first stitch with me. If you're new here, hi, thanks for stopping by. Welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate everyone that subscribed and liked the videos and made comments. It's really making me feel like I'm a part of the community instead of just watching it. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Today I am working on my very first stitch along called Witch's Cabinet by Witch's Garden Crafts. The fabric is 14 count opalescent Lavender Twilight, I believe is what it's called. Make sure I said that right. Yes, Lavender Twilight. It's also by Witch's Garden Crafts. It's one of the recommended for this particular project. And we got the frame for the stitch along on the first, and so I started on the first and tried to record this, but I'm telling you, everything in the world happened to work. It just was not working properly. The camera, the recording stuff, the editing software. So we're just going to start all the way over and try again. So this is my first stitch with me. I'm starting to put together what I really want this channel to be and how it's formatted and things like that. So if y'all have any suggestions, please comment and let me know what you think. But I'm thinking that I will do a whip update and like the big in front of the camera type video once a month. And then in between, I'll do stitch with me's, so that you'll get a video every other week, but the updates and things will be a month at a time. I'm thinking that there will be more progress to show if we do it that way. But please do let me know what you think, if you like that, if you don't like it, if you have any suggestions. I am open to any and all. So about this project, it's my very first stitch along, and looking at it made me want to go look at some more stitch alongs and things like that. I also saw people doing the hashtag Stitchy for Witchy, and I realized I don't have any of the Witchy Stitchers patterns or anything yet, so I went over to her site and I was like, I can get a few small pieces because I don't have really very many small pieces to break up my rotation or to put in the rotation with all my big pieces. I've got mostly full coverage pieces. So I was looking and I found a lot that I liked, but of course I fell in love with the big one. Of course I did. So I bought Universal Monsters, which was her first stitch along, it looks like, on the website, but it's no longer an active stitch along, so I got the whole pattern. And I ordered fabric and floss from 123 Stitch, and it arrived this weekend. So I've already started kitting up that. And I decided I would try floss drops for the first time. And got Brandon to print me some. Brandon is my husband. And he has a few 3D printers, so he was very willing to start doing that for me. So I've kitted up Universal Monsters with floss drops, and I went ahead and put this project on floss drops too, see if I like it. So far, so good. They're just the basic floss drops that I found on Thingiverse for him to print for me, and then I just wrote on the number of the DMC color. I like this. So far I'm liking them. Just having them hang here on my Lowry stand. So I haven't really talked very much about myself in these videos to begin with. I may have mentioned that I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have a 7-year-old little girl, and we moved to Florida when she was almost 2. I've been married for almost 10 years at the end of this month. Me and Brandon will be married for 10 years. And he's very supportive of my hobbies, and I'm supportive of his hobbies. His hobbies are why we got down here in the first place. He was originally working in Birmingham, doing contract work for NASA for some cryo coolers for them to store and bring their science back and forth, which is pretty cool. But when we got married, he decided that he would like a 3D printer. And at the time, they were very expensive, like a few $1,000s for one that just prints tiny things. So he decided that he would make his own. And that building, that one, turned into the 3 that we have now. And a new job down here in Florida. So now he builds 3D printers for the space station. And I cannot keep him home. He loves to go to work. I mean, he likes to work from home too, but he loves his job. And so when he's sick, I have to like force him to stay home, which is nice because it's nice when somebody loves what they do. So when he decides he wants to do something for a hobby, I don't say no, because who knows what it'll lead to for him and for us. And he's very supportive with my hobbies too. He was very, very much more supportive for doing a YouTube than I was originally thinking he would be. Not that I thought he would hate the idea, it's just he's really been helping me as much as he can and trying to figure out the best way to go about doing things. So we moved down here about 5 years ago. And I have just been dying to get involved with a community. So it feels like it's really hard to meet people and really connect with people once you're, an adult. We did find a church and we like it a lot, but it's hard to actually physically go all the time. We do online church quite a bit, as Brendan's job is hectic right now, trying to get stuff done for deadlines, and he's working overtime. So try to support him as much as possible and try to give him some time to rest and relax too. And most of the groups that I find, even the stitching ones, like to meet on Saturdays, and that's all great, but that's really the only family time we have is Saturdays and Sundays, so it's hard to really commit to those. Although I did join one and possibly 2 coming up, and I really like them. It's nice to be around people that know what you're talking about and love the same thing that you love. People told me that when Zoe starts school, you'll meet people and you'll be doing the same things as them and you'll make friends that way. Well, VPK, which is voluntary pre-kindergarten, started when she was 4. So we'd been here for for about 2 years when it started. And I'd met a few people in our neighborhood mamas group, but at that time I hadn't really connected to anybody really. And so I started her with VPK, and then the world imploded with COVID. So there went that. There was no going to the school and meeting people and doing things with the school. She did end up finishing that year with VPK, and then the next year, kindergarten, things were so rigid still, and everybody wanted to stay away from everybody, so the only thing we got to do at the school was like in the middle of the parking lot. We got to stand in the parking lot, and the kids like dressed up for different book characters and did a parade around us, which was really cute, but that's like one of two things I got to do at the school. So the next year, I joined PTA, and we did, I do still, for this year too, I do Helping Hands, which is like, we go and, oh, lordy, alright, gory, ew, pause, sorry about this. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had cut my finger last night. I thought it was doing okay. I didn't have a band-aid on it this morning, and I poked it right where I guess it was still kind of open with my needle. So, started bleeding. I'll take care of that. So now I got my cute little giraffe band-aids. Cute little zoo animals. Because you can't find regular band-aids when you have a child. Let's see. Let me get caught up here on Pattern Keeper. I'm sorry, I don't know how to link Pattern Keeper to the video yet, but I will try to do that eventually. Let's see. Okay. Now I need to get a new thread going. Okay, so we were talking about school stuff for Zoe. Yeah, so I do volunteer once a week at the school, and that I just go and help the teachers with, like, they send us a packet of stuff to do, like laminating and cutting things out and maybe sharpening pencils and things like that. So we just do what they ask us to do for a few hours. And that's all. But I've gotten to meet a few people that way and feel like I'm at least helping my community out that way as well. Oh, let me show you this. I got this from the Nerdy Needle, I think. Don't lick floss. I have a wet sponge here. And that way I basically get the licking without the grossness. Thread my needle. Very, very good. Very easy. And I love these needles. They normally don't poke me and cause such issues. They have a ball tip. They're great. I don't know if you can see the ball tip. They're awesome. Okay, so my best friend I've met while I've been down here is actually one of my daughter's friends' mothers. We live right down the road, which is very convenient. And we do some crafting together, some knitting and crochet, that type of thing. But she's not really into cross stitch. But she does quilting and sewing too, and I do a little bit of sewing. So, do have one crafty buddy, which is awesome. It's really the best. having, you know, at least one really good friend is getting me through. But I want to be a part of our community here on Flosstube too, and that's why I feel like I really need to be getting my videos out every other week. And I was watching Lunar Witch Stitchery this week, and she was talking about how gets a little anxious or, you know, nervous to comment on other people's videos, and I completely and 100% know how she feels. Like, it was like she was speaking from my own heart, and it is intimidating, I don't know, maybe, or I feel like I'm annoying someone when I comment on their videos, but please don't feel that way about mine. I would love to have like an actual conversation in the comments with, you know, all of you if you want, and I really want to be a part of the community, not just an onlooker. Not that there's anything wrong with being an onlooker if that's what you want to do, but that's just not what I want to do anymore. I want to be a part of everything. And so looking at, you know, doing stitch-alongs, I was like, that'll help. So, and seeing, you know, getting the monsters, Universal Monsters, even though it's an over with stitch-along, I can still post about it and things like that on Instagram, and I think there's probably a Facebook group for part of it too. Not sure. I need to look into that some more. If you know about it, let me know. But that got me thinking about doing another stitch along, and I've seen Frizzy Lizzy Stitches is doing the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery stitch along with Homecoming Castle. And I know a lot of other people are doing it too, but hers was the first place I saw it. And so I went ahead and joined that one and ordered the kit for it. So it should be on its way soon. They've already got 4 clues out, but it's going to go through February, I believe, is the last clue. So I'm not that far behind. So I'd like to get into that one. Then I was looking at all of my projects and noticed that I don't have any Christmas projects at all going right now. So it's like Facebook was listening to me, or, you know, the computer was listening. I don't think I said it out loud, but the second I went back to Facebook to look at any of the cross-stitch stuff at all, it showed an ad for Caterpillar Cross Stitch is starting a Christmas Wonderland stitch-along. So I got that one too. So I'm going to have lots of stitch-alongs going, and that means I kind of need to reevaluate what I'm doing with my rotation and how I go about my stitching. I started at the beginning of the year doing 1,000 stitches on each project and then changing to the next in order. That way everything gets some work, and it's kind of, I don't know, fair maybe. And it kind of helped me get through the times I wasn't enjoying something at that moment. I was like, okay, I just got to get through 1,000 and I could change to the next one. And that was helping, and helped me definitely get as far along on like Video Game Sampler as I have. I've got right around 4,000 stitches left on it. In my last video, I said I was going to work on it and get at least 300-ish stitches a day and get it finished before this stitch along started, but that didn't work. It just didn't happen. I got a pretty good amount of stitches were in on it, but I just couldn't keep going with it. I had to throw in some crochet work and did a little work on Morticia. So I've kind of, I don't know, kind of already started to mess with my rotation of projects. So I kind of need to make a new plan for them. I know a lot of people use WhipGo to help with that, but I didn't think I really had enough projects to to make that viable. But now, I don't know, I've just added 3 more to my list, so maybe I do. What do you guys like to do? I would like to keep up with this stitch along and get caught up with the Homecoming Castle stitch along and not fall behind on the Christmas one when it starts. So maybe I'll put those in the forefront in the month, and then when I'm either caught up or done with that, go back to the rotation of the others. Because I don't want to not work on something, except for the one that's in Stitchy Gel and probably will be for the foreseeable future. So I don't know what my new plan's gonna be. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. What do you guys do? Let's see. Let me check my pattern, make sure I'm still going the way it should be. It's here. Here. I'm sorry that I'm not really that wonderful at doing stitch with me's just yet, but I plan to get better at it. Okay, so I think I'm there now. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Through the end of this one, and then we go over. Okay, so eventually I will learn how to put my pattern keeper in the video. I don't know how to do that yet, so I will learn, just not for this video. I had to get a new editing software, as I was using the free one that comes with Windows, but you can't use it anymore. Like literally between the last video and this video, you can't use it anymore. So I've downloaded a new one. Hopefully I can figure it out enough to get this video out to you soon, hopefully today. And then it'll be 2 weeks and I'll give you a regular video with an update on all my whips, which will hopefully include a whole lot on Video Game Sampler. This one, this Witch's Cabinet Sow. I know I've already started working on Morticia, so we'll have a little bit of that. Let's see. What have you guys been watching lately? I've been started up my Halloween watching. My Halloween time. Which, I watch horror and stuff and fun Halloween things all year long, but definitely now that it is, I think, officially spooky season. Coming September 1st starts spooky season for us here in this house. My favorites are like things with witches in them. I just love it. So if you know of any that you love so much, to let me know. I've already watched this year Practical Magic, The Craft. I'm rewatching Sabrina right now. So I love Charmed, but the old one, not the new one so much. If you can think of anything, let me know. I've already started watching some of the other stuff that I like too, like From Hell. We watched that one. It's one of my favorite Johnny Depp movies. He's one of my favorite actors. And I've watched Silence of the Lambs. It was my first time to watch Silence of the Lambs. I watched it this year or so far. Of course, I've already watched Hocus Pocus, but I'll watch it a few times every year. I've been watching a lot of Criminal Minds. I love true crime, like a whole lot. I like to watch Stephanie Harlow and Kendall Ray on YouTube. But I found Criminal Minds, and it came out when I was in college, and I guess I was not sitting around a TV when it came on at the time, because, you know, back then, you had to watch what was on TV when it was on TV. There was not really any streaming services yet. So now that I have streaming services, I can sit down and watch them, or, have them going while I'm stitching. And it's awesome because it's not real. Like, they're not near as sad because they catch the bad guy in an hour, just about. And I know that's completely just fake, but it makes me less depressed and sad, but I still love to watch true crime stuff. I know, it's weird. I'm weird. Never claimed to be normal. Normal's boring. So, I've been watching a lot of that. I also have books going on audio while I'm stitching sometimes and while I'm cleaning. So I've been reading. I'm a part of Peter Munn's True Crime Book Club. He's one of the only drama channels that I watch, is Peter Munn. He's awesome. He's hilarious, and I don't really know who he's talking about half the time, and that's okay. His intro just gives me life. Even my little girl will say it along with him sometimes. It's really cute. And those are some YouTube goals, to have a great intro like Peter Munn. I've also been watching some cruising videos again, as we're planning on going on a Halloween cruise. We started cruising in 2019. When we first moved to Florida, we had annual passes to Disney because we only had to buy 2 of them because Zoe was so little, she got in for free. Okay, sorry about that. My camera stopped. I think it got a little overheated. So, we were talking about cruising. Yeah, so we started out as annual pass holders, and we decided to skip that in 2019 and do a cruise instead. Because we were going to have to pay for Zoe a ticket too, so we figured we'd, try something else this time. And we fell in love with it. Well, this coming up cruise will be our 5th Disney cruise. We've done one other cruise line. So if you guys want some of that content, I can definitely show some of that as well. Let me know. And I think we may stop here for today. I think my battery's going to die and it's going to stop again. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll put who I mentioned in the description box below so you can check them out too. Please let me know who you're watching so I can watch some other new people or old people. It doesn't matter. Tell me what's going on with your stitchy watching so I can start watching some new things too. Thank you so much for coming by and stitching with me, visiting with me. It really makes me feel great to be a part of a community again. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.